I did. I said starting. We're live. Okay, I don't know how many people are here. All right, this is Continental Conscience with ARC Media, and we are doing a stream with Vibe High and Malcolm Flex, Bryden Proctor, and Prince Hubris to differentiate the alt-light from the alt-right. So I'm going to start with the Hoteps. Vibe High, go ahead and introduce yourself and what websites or shows you're associated with.
Hotep Jesus, hotepnation.com.
All right, Malcolm. All right, Malcolm Flex, go ahead.
I was about to say, same as first, pretty much. Malcolm Flex 48 on Twitter and hotepnation.com. Rocking with that.
All right, awesome. Bryden.
I'm the founder of arcmedia.org, and you can find me at Bryden's Funny on Twitter. I host Right to Bryden and Hollywood Babylon.
All right, one last one. Go ahead, Prince.
I'm Prince Hubris, and I'm the host on the Reactionary Report. That's on TRS Radio and Alt-Right Connect, so check it out.
All right, and I did want to start with the Hoteps because this whole stream started because Hotep Jesus posted a tweet. I can't really remember since I've been banned from Twitter at this point, I can't really remember the exact, I know, right? I can't really remember the exact tweet, but it was you asking what exactly the alt-light is, and then I think you referenced like Gavin McInnes and Cernovich and just people like that, like in thinking that they are possibly alt-right. So I just kind of like wanted to go into like, what are your questions differentiating the alt-light from the alt-right?
I don't even think the people that claim to be alt-light or alt-right know which sect they belong to, because I've seen so many mixed responses that I'm now confused. There's alt-light, there's alt-right, there's new right. What else?
Reactionary, neo-reactionary. There's a lot of shit. I will give you that.
On spectrum.
Okay, I'll jump in here to begin with, and then Prince, you take it from here. The alt-right is kind of all-encompassing. You've got white nationalists like myself. You have neo-reactionaries like Hubris. There's monarchists. There's Nazis. Nazis. I'm using that, but some of them self-identify as Nazis. National socialists in the modern sense. I'm sure I'm missing quite a few. You've got a lot of Catholics, a lot of pagans. You have all of these people that pretty much abide by, at the end of the day, by the 14 words of David Lane. We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children. That is more or less what the alt-right is. The alt-light, you get your Gavin McInnes, you get your Milo Yiannopoulos, these people that we must secure the existence of Western children. And
right, like civic nationalism, basically.
Yeah,
exactly. Civic nationalists versus we are, I would imagine all of us, ethno-nationalists. And I forgot identitarians in that big group of things. But I'm an ethno-nationalist. I want my people to be separated from other people so that we can prosper. And I get the impression that's what the Hoteps want, is to be in charge of your own destiny and have your own agency. What am I missing here, Hubris? Because you're the guy who fills in all the fucking blanks, because I'm just a basic bitch white nationalist.
I think that trying to make Hotep a mirror of alt-right is probably not true. I cannot say that we in fact want separation in our own ethno-state, and we prefer not to be considered black nationalists.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Can you expand on that? Because I assumed you guys were black nationalists.
Well, that term gets thrown around a lot. Flex, you want to handle that?
Sure. Pretty much just to kind of go into what he's saying just a little bit more. We really more so want to keep black people from getting into this whole state of what you would call, or what you would consider, basically dependent on the state, in a situation where black people are actually they're helpless. They don't have any idea what's going on. They're basically being farmed, and farmed for their resource, basically turning into mindless consumers, things like that. Basically, anything that you guys perceive that turns black people into what y'all know as Dindus, what we know as Nogs, that's basically what we're fighting against. And we actually believe that the overall transformation of black people to actually take us from that state as a whole to a much more, common existence where we're actually a lot more enlightened across the board, and we're actually a lot more economically dependent. I believe that's going to create some of what you guys want as an ethno state, but at the same time, we're not really driving for the ethno state. We're just trying to get the independent, if that makes any sense. If it happens, it happens. However, like I said, we believe in somewhat in helping you guys with your goal, also nets us our goal. And if that's the case, hey, by all means, we're with it, but we aren't necessarily black nationalists in the sense that many alt-right might portray themselves to be.
That's interesting.
Interesting, yeah, because I was under the impression, from the few hoteps that I have talked to, they're black nationalists, and that's what they made it sound like. Obviously, your goals are great. I can't remember honestly at this point. I don't think it was any big names. It was just somebody who identified as a hotep on Twitter. But they seemed like they wanted to kind of have complete segregation again, where blacks were teaching black kids, and you guys had your own neighborhoods, you guys had your own schools, just basically complete segregation again.
In that sense, though, in liberal society, just not to cut you off or anything, we actually do. They're just in very shit and depraved condition. But I know, let me just go ahead and throw out as well, just like the alt-right tends to be considered a catch-all or, a large heterogeneous group. We're the same way in Hotep. So we have a lot of different segments of Hotep, and we do have those of us that are thriving for that. So like I said, just don't let the words of the few interpret, how you see the whole group, because I can guarantee you that under our banner, we have a lot of different types.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even think black nationalism is bad. I think it's a good thing. It's the other end of what white nationalism is with a lot of the alt-right and the identitarians.
Here's the thing: when you say that Hotep wants to be black nationalists, or people want to be black nationalists, this sets up a dichotomy and basically says that there is a counterpart to us, and it is my philosophy that we are completely ignoring the counterpart. Therefore, there is no need for nationalism. To say that we are focusing on ourselves does not say that we need to think about white people. That's my thing. White people aren't even on my radar. So there's no reason to think about separation. To say I want separation, I have to think about white people. I'm not thinking about white people.
But wouldn't you need to think about white people in the same way that I think about black people? When I am thinking about, I believe it was you that it was either you or Uncle Hotep that sent out first the tweet, something about your tribe first, nationality second, and that resonated with me quite a bit. You do need to think about other people, not in the sense that I need to take care of them, but in the fact that there are other people in the world. So what do I do about these other people in the world to protect my tribe and my people? That's how I think about the black people. I don't dislike blacks as a whole. You guys are awesome for sitting down here with us. But, at the end of the day, if there was, 3 cheeseburgers, you guys ain't getting them. It's me and mine, So, and I would hope that if there was 2 cheeseburgers, you guys would get them if you had the cheeseburgers.
Well, the thing is this, if there were 3 cheeseburgers, right, and they were sitting in the middle, and there was 3 alt-right people and 3 Hotep people, right, and we were sitting at this border, and there was 3 cheeseburgers, and that was the only thing there, you would say you would take all the cheeseburgers. I would say, let's cut the cheeseburgers in half. Let's give you guys half, and we take the other half, because we're civil human beings.
Well, of course. In this situation, yes. But what I was using that as an example of is that I am going to advocate for my race having, if I didn't know you guys, and just meeting you for, 10 minutes. I already like you guys. Of course, we'd split the cheeseburgers, but in a greater sense of things, I need to look after mine before I can look after anyone else's. You've got to make sure that you're
absolutely. And I think that's the whole point I'm alluding to, is the fact that we have to put our people first. And I think that at this point, we need a huddle before we can take it to the playing field, because right now we're operating out of the no huddle. So the team's on the field looking really discombobulated. What I'm saying is, let's draw back, let's build a plan, and then we can come back and think about how we're going to associate with the other teams.
I think that's exactly true. And I think that's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, just kind of expound on that. Basically, I mean, it's not necessarily saying that, we're just acting like white people don't exist. We're just focusing on ourselves to the extent to where we're not worried we're not really worried what white people are doing on this end. We're more so just so focused, and we want to have communities that can be independent of white people. Not necessarily saying we're trying to just create these all black societies. Like I said, that might be white nationalism's goal. With us, it's probably going to happen organically, but our goal is to be so independent of white people that you guys, it's almost as if you guys didn't even exist. In that sense, that's basically where we kind of focus on. When it comes to our movement's goal, that's where we're really focusing.
So I get your movement with that, and I think that's great. But then at the same side of the coin, you have the government, which is forcing integration on top of us. So that's the issue that I see, is that actually having to change policy within the government for you guys to be able to do what you want with your own communities.
Well, the government can't impose integration if you have your own. The problem is white people and black people don't have their own. I call them the niggers of the world, white people and black people. When you look at the Asians, the Arabs, everybody else is succeeding just fine. Even the Zionists are doing great. So that's my perspective on that.
Oh man, I imagine by the end of the chat we're going to be talking about the Zionists.
We'll get there eventually. Mention Zionists, and we're just like, Zionists. That's our favorite conversation.
My question is Hotep then a separatist movement in the same sense that, like, I understand an ethno-state is our motivating myth. It is the thing that keeps us moving forward to advocate for white interests. But obviously, I'd be happy if we could go back to segregation in schools, segregation and right to associate and right to disassociate, which is like, this is my restaurant. I'm sorry, black guy, you don't get to sit at the counter. I wouldn't do that if I were in a restaurant because it's just bad business. But maybe I've got a Nazi bar, and blacks aren't allowed in.
I love that.
I don't want the government coming down and saying, hey, you're not allowed to have a Nazi bar.
Yeah, I love that, because I hate the fact that black people think about white people so much. That's my thing. It's like, I want people to pull back the energy that they keep giving white people. They're like, oh, white people, white supremacy, white people, white people, white people. And I'm like, yo, fuck them. like, what about you? What are you doing for you? And that's my whole thing when they talk about segregation. My segregation isn't about this whole separate school. This is your water fountain. This is my bottle. That's not what I'm talking about when I talk about separating. What I'm saying is pull back the attention from the other groups and refocus it. But if you do start pointing fingers, at least point it at the right places. It's like Arabs still have black people as slaves today. There's ethnic cleansing happening there. If you're going to point a finger, let's start pointing there. Argentina is practicing ethnic cleansing with their white population. They're 90% plus white population in Argentina and South America. Let's start there. DR is practicing ethnic cleansing. Let's start there. Israel is practicing ethnic cleansing. We keep sending them aid. Let's start there. Because what white people have done, according to the history books, is not true. White people haven't done much.
Well, I mean, we did some cool shit, but
I mean,
No, I like where you're going with that.
grand scheme of things, there's other people. It seems like Black people only think white and black, and it's like, well, Asians had a dynasty, and Indians had a dynasty, and all these other cultures had dynasties. So why are they not in the conversation?
Well, that's I think is a major problem, and I was talking to Andrew Keith before the show about this. Is how Sean, you got an invader going on.
Yeah. The other host on the podcast. So.
I think that we're just going to dive right into it. The Jewish elite like to kind of pit whites and blacks against each other, and no other person besides white people have been as screwed over by the Jew as the blacks, and they're still constantly enslaved. We see that going on in Africa and all this. You're like, why don't you get some more copper there, Negro? And it's constant. And then whatever. I've got a phone. I like it. It's nice, but that happens. And then they go like, hey, don't you guys hate each other because like your rap music and your Toby Keith, like fight, I think we have a lot more in common than we think, but I don't. To be quite frank, I don't want I just don't want you guys breeding with my women or in my neighborhood. Like, you're great people, but just go elsewhere. Like, what happened when black people were making jazz music? Now they're making this Waka Flocka Flame bullshit, and I just can't get on. I blame the Jew.
I blame white people, because if it wasn't for white people,
are not Jewish.
Hold
the
on.
Jews are not white, man. It's the Jews that did this to you. Don't blame us.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. You didn't let me finish my statement. Hold on before you
Let's go.
Okay. If it wasn't for white people showing up at the concerts, black people wouldn't make a living, because black people don't buy music and they don't buy concert tickets.
Trapping out the bandwidth. That is a familiar phrase, trapping out the bandwidth.
We black people bootleg music. So the consumers of music are who? It's your people. Tell them stop listening to black music. They can't get enough of it.
I like Kanye, dude. I love Kanye. That's something I'm guilty of. I love Kanye.
It's good gym
Black
music.
people-
You can't help it.
Black people can't afford Kanye shoes. They can't afford his concert tickets. They can't afford his clothing. So who's buying it?
Somebody's doing it. Somebody is doing it. There's a culprit.
Okay. It's like
I was about to say.
Go ahead, Flex.
I was about to say, look, we just make it hot. We just popularize it, but you guys go ahead, throw your funding behind it.
Right.
The next thing you know, you guys think, some of your guys think we're cool. So it's like, hey,
No.
we can't help the appeal that black people have in some senses when it comes to pop culture and all that. We can't help that now.
No.
Let's go ahead and make it a twofold.
No, it's the Jews that are they're behind that. They're pushing that onto our youth that make it cool. All right, I promise you, it's the Jews, dude.
Don't worry. We're not taking any culpability away from the Jews on this one. Like I said, but hey, this is one thing we've always learned in black culture. We can always blame anybody else, but we also need to look at what we can do ourselves to change. So like I said, let's go ahead and add and mix this into the equation as well. But again, we know it's the Jews. I don't think we're gonna get Twitter banned for saying it here. So I'm not going to use the quotes and say them. So let's come out with it.
I have no Twitter to get banned from anymore, so it doesn't really matter to me. I can say whatever I want at this point. I mean, you guys say though. You guys say that you want to have black people just to start focusing on themselves and stop just talking about like white supremacy and all that crap anymore. But how do you do that when we have a society which is pretty much focused on demonizing whites constantly? Like that's all when you read Huffington Post or pretty much anything like left of Breitbart, it's always like talking about some sort of crap that white people did to black people. Like it's out there in the mainstream now is the anti-white narrative is just out there constantly. Like that's like a main problem, and that's like completely part of our culture now at this point.
Well, I'll pretty much go ahead and take this one first, just to go ahead and just start it out. But I know you pretty much have an excuse. You don't really have very much Twitter anymore, so you don't really see what we're at. But I think one of the main things that we are on is calling out fake news sources, calling out the inconsistency when they run these narratives. That's really what a lot of us hoteps have actually gotten, popularized for. We're almost whistleblowers that check the media a lot. People come to us to see, oh, hey, this article was published right here. Let's look at the facts. Let's check the oh, okay, we just said it's bullshit. White people weren't the ones that did this first. Okay, this was something that happened in an Arab community. We like consistency, and one of the main things we do to combat that is we want to combat the misinformation that's being spread to Black people. Because most times, if you have a debate with, say, a very ardent Black liberal on Twitter, one of the main things they do is they quote the Huffington Post, Vox, Salon, or these other sources. Something we do is we call that out. We go ahead and we make a very strong point to say, no, this is not what happened. What happened is this. We have a team of researchers within our group for that purpose. And, I think that's one of the main things of, getting people to stop focusing on what white people do in society is to actually call out the inconsistency when they try to run these narratives, just basically just throw the truth on it, because otherwise they're going to have you guys very 6 feet under, and they're going to be using us to freaking do it,
Yeah, the one thing that I see though a lot is that a lot of I guess the nogs, as you call them, shines, whatever, they call you guys a bunch of terrible names, and they literally hate all of you. That's I don't know how you change mainstream opinion to how you guys think when you're getting such a hard pushback from the people you're trying to help.
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that there is 3 sides, right? You have the left, the right, and the people that aren't saying shit, right? And I believe it's a fight for the people who aren't saying shit, the people who are in the middle that you got to sway. The people that are already left have chosen their side, so we ignore them. It's whatever, just be over there and be stupid. But it's that silent majority that is just looking at things sometimes objectively. And if you can make sense to them, they'll listen. And that's where a lot of the hoteps have come from, the people that are just in the middle, objectively thinking, open-minded. But you're dealing with a minority anyway, because the majority of people aren't open-minded, and the only people that are going to listen to an unorthodox view are open-minded people. So you're already fighting a losing battle.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, Mike, I have a question, because I don't know if I agree with a lot of this, but we'll get into that after. Are you guys far right, far left, centrist, left to center, right of center?
All those terms you just said are bullshit. So I don't know. What does left mean and what does right mean? The thing when I say right, it's just because it's the opposite of the left. But that doesn't mean I align with the right. And then when you say center, then center, is that libertarian? What does that mean? And it's maybe I'm not center. Maybe I'm just leaning to the right a little bit more than center.
Yeah. Well, they kind of do have a meaning to them. Far right people are usually hyper isolationists, nationalists, care more about their people, and then the further right you get, the more genetic and ethnic it gets. But a lot of from what you're saying sounds more like you're aspiring of Marxist views, where like the way that I look at it is this: we have we're in the identity politics game. There's no way that we can really put it back into where it was in the 90s or the 80s. Even then there was still an identity politics game, but now it's just everything's hyper. So
identity politics was created in the 1400s by the Pope when he issued the papal bull Dum Diversus. That's when identity politics started.
Yeah, but in America, in America and the world too, it's made its resurgence after the 60s, after the civil rights and everything ended. The way that Jared Taylor kind of argued this, but the benefits of diversity are you have the Civil War, you have slavery. None of these things want to be redone. You have the civil rights movement. Then you have Black Lives Matters now, and even just the racial divide in the country that what we have now. And it's not even between whites and blacks. It's Mexicans now too, and Latinos. So I guess I don't understand why segregation doesn't make sense to you guys as much as it makes sense to us.
In what regard, if you mind me asking?
The fact that we're kind of forcing this at this point, it's kind of an unnatural thing. the freedom of immigration and the rates that we're able to do it are a turn of the century thing. Boat technology or naval technology and aerial technology advanced so much that our forefathers, even, not that I'm going to like defend them because I have a ton of problems with the Constitution too, but they never foresaw us having to deal with getting refugees from like Somalia or anywhere from Africa for that matter. They didn't really see this demographic thing changing, let alone just all the people coming over the border from Mexico and South America. So this is a kind of a new thing that humanity has to deal with in general. Before it was just through land bridges and borders and stuff that people were able to move. And then once nation states got stronger, people weren't able to move through them unless they were on good terms. But now it's, I guess the meme is diversity is our strength. And it's kind of a natural thing, but like there's nothing in anthropology or sociology or anything that has ever proved that what we're dealing with today has ever been happened in history. So
okay, just kind of go ahead and just add a little bit of context to this. I know actually a great large push for immigration, I believe around the 60s, around the time when the government was actually having the Homestead Act passed. Although this was more so for an economic reason, you know, back in that time, it was because America, we were literally untapped for resource. So actually the federal government started to push an initiative to get immigrants from plenty of areas, you know, mainly European, I will say that much, but from different areas to actually move on to the coast and, you know, to actually get in these areas so that they could actually tap resource and build the cities. Like I said, that was what led to the Homestead Act and all that deal. So there was actually a push. Density was lacking, and you know, like I said, when it came to it, we had the population density of say Canada, and there was no infrastructure, and I think that actually led to a good boom. However, where I see what we're at right now is, you know, all the resources are already tapped, and if that makes any sense, you know, we've already got established communities. Where I actually agree with you guys when it comes to immigration is that I don't think right now we need an initiative. We need an initiative for immigration, or you know, to push any more diversity or multiculturalism from around the world. Because only thing that we're doing right now is we're offering these people welfare. You know, they're not bringing anything to the pool. So this is where I can actually agree with how the alt-right sees immigration and everything. I don't think that we gain anything from pushing multiculturalism or you know, bringing refugees in from other places, especially with the advances in technology where we can get them in mass.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I mean, what I'm saying is even before the 60s, I just mean like really after like the 1800s, early 1900s, and then of course now where it's so easy that it happens. We're already in this mess to begin with, and there's really no way to go back from it besides like segregation or from, I mean, whatever. There's really only one other option, which would be like ethnic cleansing, but that's not what I'm calling for at all. It's just the way that I look at it is nothing really is. I mean, there have been benefits and economically, but I could give a shit about economics really. That's not from the standpoint that I really like to argue or look at things. It's from the standpoint of culture and what's actually going on between the cultures and who's benefiting from what. So I mean, you guys probably know of the Hart-Celler Act, so that's when the demographic shift really started to increase. But even without that, there was still a racial conflict in the United States from who was here before and with the nation of immigrants, stuff like all that, even between when we came and slaughtered the Indians or Native Americans, whatever term you prefer. So we've seen all these
savages.
Yeah, we've seen all these things that happen throughout history. I guess my thing is the history is supposed to be learning from your mistakes, and it seems like the mistake that we have is we both try, or every race really tries to live with somebody else in the same jurisdiction, area, border, whatever, and it never works out for both of them. So why don't we learn from that and then just separate ourselves?
Hey, I'm all for it if it happens de facto. One of the main things though, and this will probably answer, you know, a little bit or throw a little bit of context to your earlier question about, you know, political alignment when it comes to hoteps, is that me personally, I view myself as a centrist. A little bit, I don't really lean left or right, except for, you know, on specific issues. So I'm very centrist, although I have a lot of libertarian principles. So most of that meaning that I don't want, in the word to establish an ethno state, I don't want you guys to end up having government basically go full on authoritarian and basically de facto basically de jure establish a white ethno state and a black ethno. Like
most of us do.
Yeah, no, I wanted a authoritarian government.
Now here's, I was about to say, now go ahead and hear me out. If this is going to happen, I want this to be something because the people want it to happen. You know, basically because it's because of the people. I don't want the government coming down and, you know, sending shock troops and establishing that, because the next thing you know, now you've handed the government basically just unlimited power to enforce this. Well, not necessarily enforce this, but to actually abuse said power. I think that's one of the main gripes that we have with the left in general, is that they like to use the government to abuse the power. So, you know, politically speaking, I would personally rather power basically be handed back down to the people. I don't see any benefit in, you know, getting this to the point where we basically forcefully get the government to intervene right here, because if the people don't want it, the people are going to rebel against the government anyway. So what we need to do is we need to make this organic. We need organic separation.
Yeah, well, it would.
We can. I mean, we. Go ahead. Go ahead, Hubris.
It would be organic if we both just admitted that we would do better not living with each other. Like, that's one of the arguments that I do like to use when I decide to is like or argue with a nog or whatever you want to call them. But
call them nerds.
It's just like if white supremacy exists and there's such a like you know their arguments, if white supremacy exists, if it's such a hateful country to live in, why do you still want to live near us is the thing. And I
agree. Yeah, we really, you know, I don't like that blacks try to force their way into white spaces. I do not agree with that at all. But on the subject of segregation, again, if I put segregation in my mind, I have to put white people in my mind, and I don't want to put white people in my mind. What I am saying is this. What I'm saying is that if you want your all-white state, I think you should have your all-white state. But please don't include us in the conversation of your all-white state, because we want nothing to do with it. We don't want to be next to you. But at the same time, if there are white people, whatever people that would like to live in a multicultural society, we are not against that by all means. We believe that anybody of any race can get along. That is what we believe. But we do understand.
That's not true.
But we do understand
hold on, Hubris.
that in your world, you believe that you should have your own separate thing. And I believe because God gave us free will, you should have that. Mm-hmm. We should not force our way.
I mean, that's something I want to make a note of. I'm sorry, Hubris. I know I'm cutting you off. Listen, there is a reason that the alt-right Hotep alliance type of thing is happening. We are open to talking to each other. And I understand that you believe that people of all races can get along, and we believe that too. But they're the people that are not going to be included in the ethno state. They're going to be the ones that are over the wall, and we're going to go have fun in New Brazil. You know, a major question that I wanted to ask you guys about.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you really fast.
Yes, please.
Point. How is it that you guys are going to state claim the Jews are going to enslave you or kick you out? So I want to know is how are you going to dethrone the Jews to get your land?
I mean,
working with the Hoteps, I hope.
Okay, let's say we shake hands and we say we're going to move forward from here. What is the plan?
I mean, it's
in my ideal land, everybody would have their own thing. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's not about dethroning the Jews. It's more about making them known that they're not us, and kind of like showing that they do.
But they admit that they're not white. They'll tell you they're not white.
They do not.
Go search.
I'm talking about the Zionists
Yeah,
They
that's
understand.
different. That's different. The Zionists are just.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Zionists own this country.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I mean, like you can.
The United States is in debt. The United States is in debt. Who are they in debt to?
I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. Again,
Okay.
I don't care
so
about.
Until you get out of debt, how do you get the country?
I don't care.
It's
Economics
like,
are not.
It's almost like you guys are. It's almost like you guys are acting like the left now because you're trying to create this fake society that is just not possible.
No, it is. I mean, it's happened before. This was the precursor to World War II. It's not about showing.
And what happened?
It was a great 10 years.
The Jews.
and this is what I'm saying. So if they came in, you had a decade run, right? You had 1 decade run, right? Good job. Got a whole dime off. Now, if something happens, do you think that your ethno state is going to last more than 10 years again? No, it's
I mean, we will learn from history, and what history proves is
people. Have they learned already?
If you,
that's what I'm saying.
if you hubris were the leader of alt-right would be doomed.
I actually agree. Go ahead.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a drop. Using that as a drop. That's God.
Yeah, I shouldn't let this guy make decisions.
I mean, where's my logic on sound on this?
Ah, boy. But no. Let me go ahead and just phrase this a little bit better so we can actually continue everything. Basically, you guys have a good idea of what you guys want to do as far as an ethno state goes, as far as all this. However, the battle's not won yet. It's like you're sitting up here trying to figure out how to divide the country when you still got the enemy on your front door. The Jews, the lobby, everything is still stands. We'll never get to have this conversation. Back when I was the leader of anarchists, back when I was working with these guys, we had ANCOMs and CAPs. We had syndicalists and all these people. They were sitting up here having this huge debate of what society we have, what would this, what we do with this. However, we were still a state of society. The government still had all the power. And we're basically just splitting our wheels, getting a boner, just getting a good jack in, everything just for the purpose of imagining. But here's the thing. We need to focus, before we go ahead and, focus on what our vision is. Because, I mean, we've got a good vision already set aside. We need to figure out a strategy. How do we win the nation?
You counting your money before you secure the bag. Can we secure the bag before we carve up the country?
Well, okay. But like that was kind of the start of the debate. But like, I know we haven't won, but you think like that we're calling for that now?
I got a whole continent called Africa. I'm not worried about America. Let's talk about how. That's what I'm
saying. I mean, that's kind of exactly
the point. That's exactly the point.
Is that you guys still have your homogenous homeland of Africa? That's kind of the point that we make.
Right.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like how we do that and like how we dethrone the Jews. Like I'm not one of the people on the right that just blame the Jews for everything. It like I understand their power, but like how we win is by showing that we're not like they're not white and they're completely different from us. And you guys said like, oh well,
I disagree.
Look, what's Tim Wise's career built on? It's built on.
That's like trying to convince black people they're African when they say they're not.
No, but you are African American. You have around 25% African or European admixture. You're not like one of the sub-Saharans. I know that. That's why we can have a conversation. And you're not chasing gazelle. Like I understand that.
I wish I was chasing a gazelle.
You know what? Like, dude, I understand that. Which is why I hope that for black people. Is that you could have your own racially homogenous society where you guys you can have the best football league in the world. You it'd be like how would an ethno state of black people make money? It'd be like we would all watch them play sports. That's what we would do.
I'll give you on that one.
All over the world, it'd just be like, I mean, we got the ethno state now. It's like, what's the NFL? It's like, it's the nigga football league, and then you guys would do great.
I was say, man, there you go. We're getting good on that usage now. That's it. That's how it goes. But no, I mean, and just to go ahead and say, you know, I get the strategy of, you know, saying we're trying to basically differentiate whites from Jews and all that. Like I said, I definitely get that strategy. My question comes in, you know, where do we go from here? You know, we got, and I'm going to kind of bring
that ain't it, Flex. That ain't it. Trying to tell Jews that they ain't white, that ain't it. That ain't the game plan. I'll tell you that right now.
No, my plan doesn't involve talking to Jews at all. It's not. Again, like it's kind of what you were saying. It's like I don't think about these people. Like I realize they're different from us, but my goal is to get white people to stop being fucking retarded and say, okay, these are the people that are controlling us. These are the people killing us and living off our taxes. These are the people raping our women.
Acknowledging the beat. Acknowledging the beat.
Yeah, I mean, and it's doing a pretty good job. I mean, like you can just kind of.
I get that.
Well, you can just kind of. You just look at how far right and how much the Overton window shifted. You have Jorge Ramos on Univision television saying, "Yeah, America is going to be by 2044, whites are going to be a minority." It's like they know this.
But whites have always been a minority in the world.
No, we haven't.
They're a minority
in the world, yes, but not in our.
Not in our Western
countries. That's not true either. We weren't a minority for most
of
the.
Where are you not a minority?
When Rome was number one, when Persia and the Aryan.
You have Europe, you have Canada, and you have North America. Where else are you
you have Indo-Aryan cultures like Persia and Sumeria. You have Rome.
I'm talking about white people. So am I. Are you claiming the Persians? Are you claiming the Persians?
Yeah, they're more genetically close to me than you.
Okay, so you're claiming the Persians. Who else are you claiming? Since we're having this race draft here, can we claim the Japanese and the Chinese?
Go for it. I mean, that would be closer to Native Americans since they're like, okay, so yeah, go ahead, claim the Japanese. Like East Asians are closest to Native Americans, which like they're.
So who's claiming the Arabs?
I mean, that would be closest to the Jews. They're still Semitic. Like genetics is real. This is what makes it so simple. And like you can look at even like the higher castes of India now.
Are you familiar with the Eve gene?
No.
Oh God.
Sorry, I was just doing the king.
I'm not familiar with that either, so let's I want to know.
If it's the thing I'm thinking about, it's the we all descended from. I'm Irish, okay, so I've got more Neanderthal DNA than the average white person.
Yeah,
was
Irish.
Yeah, they used to sell Irish people for the quarter of the price of an African. You guys were like,
yeah.
Hey, listen.
Copper pieces, man.
Prussian boys do I get? How many Prussian boys do I get for that? My people were enslaved.
I was about to say, we did a fucking white halfway through.
Before they enslaved black people, they enslaved white women. Yo, I swear to God, I can't wait to give y'all ethno steaks. I'm gonna sit in Africa from my hut and watch y'all kill each other.
Jesus fuck.
You're all gonna kill each other because you don't know who's who. He's Irish, and somebody's gonna say, "Oh, we don't fuck with the potato niggers," and the other one's gonna say, we don't fuck with the Italians, and it's gonna be like, well, that's what they wanted. So, I'm gonna tune in a pay-per-view and watch you guys devour each other like you did in Virginia.
The thing. No, but that's the thing with America, though, is that those of us who are like American white nationalists are kind of pan-European in a sense of which they aren't over in Europe because they actually differentiate between German, French, Polish, Italian, and I mean, that's why I know Irish are Irish, but I still don't see Bryden as white to me. He's kind of the same, like he's part of.
That's not what my white followers say. My white followers say they do not like Irish people.
I mean,
yeah, I get called a potato nigger.
I mean, we do. Yeah, we all make fun of the Irish and the alt-right, but I mean, he's still like my brother. Like I still have in Identity Europa. Like I still have Irish females who are in there. Those are my sisters. Like I still embrace the white race as a whole.
Genetically, what differentiates the Jews from the whites?
The fact that they're Semitic.
Yeah.
Okay, Semitic's just a word. What genetically? I said genetics.
That's what
no, I said genetics, not ethnicity or these political terms you throw out. Genetics
ethnicity is not a political term. It's that's what genetics is based off of.
Hubris? What's your name again?
Yeah, hubris.
Hubris. Okay, hubris. You said genetics, and genetics has like scientific terminology, right?
Yeah. So like there's Celts, there's Anglos, there's the Semitics, there's the Aryans.
What do you mean? What in the DNA strands are different?
I don't know the exact number. Okay, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, now hold on. Hubris, I'm trying to help you. I'm going to help you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you convince your people that Jews are white. What you need to do is, if you're going to talk genetics, you need to go in and see what in the gene code, what in each DNA strand is different from whites. And Jews.
Somebody get
point that out.
Somebody get Ayla Sussex in here. Somebody get Ayla Sussex in here.
Right.
Because let's get Ayla Sussex in here. Because you know what? There is different genetic fucking admixtures between like the Ashkenazi Jews and the what are the other ones called?
There's three different types of Jews.
Yeah, no, I guess we're gonna have to talk to 23andMe because they're based off pseudoscience or something.
There are differences genetically between people that came from the Fertile Crescent and those that came from Africa, and the amount of people that left Africa earlier than those that did, and that's where you get.
What I'm talking about
that's why. Hold on, if I can. That's where you get the Caucasoid, the Mongoloid, and the Negroid, and those are the three different basic types of people that sprung up from there.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about science. When we say genetics, we're talking about
this is science. I mean, I don't know exactly what you want. I mean, do you want us to like differentiate between what illnesses that Jews are more susceptible to, IQ,
Listen. If you listen to what I'm saying, right, you'll understand. So what I'm talking about is biology and chemistry and molecules, right? So if you can go into a DNA strand, right, and or somebody's biological makeup and say, hey, you know, this person has more carbon than the next person, or this one has, like we say, black people have more melanin than the next person. What chemically is different from the Jews and whites? If you can point that out, it'll connect with more people in your race.
Okay.
So we need to start looking at that. What's the molecular structure?
Okay, we can do that, and that is the Semitic gene. That's where. Have you ever heard of Tay-Sachs disease?
No.
Tay-Sachs disease is a brain disease. It can be fatal. Luckily, they figured it all out. Sean is pissed, and I think he's gonna go take an angry poop. But
you'll be okay.
Tay-Sachs disease, it only affects Ashkenazi Jews, and it only affects them. Why is it that sickle cell only affects blacks? So it doesn't affect white people. Sickle cell. Jews are the only ones that get Tay-Sachs. So they're not white. They're not us. They're not European people. They are their own Semitic thing. They are susceptible to different diseases. They've got their own strengths and weaknesses. And you can see this not only physically with, they look like monsters, but, you know, biologically, like you're speaking. Why would they be the only ones susceptible to that disease? I should not have to isolate a single cell of or like frame of DNA.
No. See. Once again, follow me, right? So again, I'm trying to help you, right? Now, when you want to convince people of things, you have to sometimes break it down into science and math, right? Because these things are fixed. You can't like play with them and lie about them, right? So when we look at genetics, you might have things like
do you believe Jews are white? Do you believe Jews are white?
Do I believe Jews are white?
Yeah.
It depends on what Jew you hand me, right?
Got some white Jews.
Because listen to what I'm saying. With a blonde hair, blue-eyed Jew who speaks Hebrew, I worked with her in Rockefeller Center in New York City. And when she told me she was Jew, I looked at it like she was lying. But she's got blonde hair coming out of her head and she's got blue eyes. I'm asking myself, How is she a Jew?
Because
I mean, it happens though, because I mean, my family, they're on my dad's side, they're 100% Sicilian, but my dad and one of his sisters, they're both, you know how dark Sicilians are. Like sometimes they look Middle Eastern. They both had blonde hair and blue eyed. Like it happens. I mean, that doesn't make them not Jew, and it doesn't make them white just because they have blonde hair and blue eyes. Yes, do they have the appearance of being white, but genetically, no, they're not white.
Well, let's back this up. Let's back this up a second, right? So now we have to define white, because according to the United States law, Arabs are white.
Yeah, the United States law is fucked up. Yeah, I know, exactly. I mean, it's
so we have to define white, because some people would say the Irish aren't white, but you're saying the Irish are white because your friend Brighton here. So I think we first have to define what is white before we can say are Jews white.
Non-Semitic of European heritage.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. And I was about to say, so what if you? Okay, let's go ahead and take this to this point. My thing is, look, you guys are saying that one of the ways you're going to win is by saying differentiating between white people and Jews. Do you understand now with the way genetics works and the way people are mixed and everything? It's not really a winning strategy. It's not, you're going to have some Jews that identify as white people because they've had a white heritage and all this. Not everybody's going to get on board. Not everybody's going to get on board.
It doesn't matter if everyone does. We don't need everyone. We need enough.
I mean, you need a fair. I was about to say, because what we want to do is we want to overthrow. We basically want to get rid of this trash legacy media, first off, because they're going to be the ones that are going to continually push propaganda that's going to demonize your cause, and they're constantly going to do damage to your cause. You've got to get them out the way first.
They haven't damaged us at all. Every time they talk about us, it's free publicity.
I mean, we get bigger, we get more every time Identity Europa or anybody gets in the news. Anytime Richard Spencer gets in the news, his altright.com site gets more hits. Our Identity Europa site gets more hits. We get more applications in for people to want to come into our movement. Like, it kind of doesn't hurt. Like, we're kind of with the alt-right, we're kind of like under the impression that all publicity is good publicity for the most part.
Yeah, seriously. Erica, why don't you fucking, go out there next time, get an Archimedia thing. Go ahead and, bring us some more shit, man. I gotta make a buck. Come on.
We all need money.
You guys should hire a geneticist to completely separate Jews from you guys indefinitely based upon metrics that can be quantified.
They've already done that. It's different haplogroups.
Yeah. And I asked you that, and you couldn't provide that information. So go back and study that.
It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be autistic enough to be like, oh, what haplogroups make Jews different than white?
Yeah, Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jews.
How about I try and give a bone marrow transplant to a Jew, and if it works, then wow, they're probably European. If it doesn't work, then wow, they're Jewish. Like, this is easy. Like, Israel does this. This is how Israel tells if people are allowed to immigrate or go back to the Holy Land. Like,
what's that? What do they do?
Genetic testing. Like, this is simple stuff. Like, do you know if you're Cohesion or Bantu? Like,
I don't care.
Okay, so you're probably Bantu then. All right, it's just like, this doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't.
But you said that one of the keys was to convince white people that Jews aren't white. And what I'm saying is, respectfully, if you can quantify it, don't just say, oh, bone marrow, this, da. Quantify
it's already quantified. Ask a Jew if they're Jewish or white.
They're going to say no.
They're going to say, oh, why are you asking me that? They're going to get really offended. This is like, this happens all the time.
I have Jew friends. I have Jew friends, and when I want to make fun of them, I call them white. I call them white, and they go, I'm not white, and I laugh about it, right? So I get that they call themselves white.
Okay,
so don't call them
when you have people like Tim Wise, whose career is going around to colleges saying that there's such thing as white privilege, but he ends up being Jewish, you point this out and say, oh, look, this happens, and they're like, okay, well, that's a typical thing. And you can go on to Twitter or social media and just literally search fellow white people, and you will see thousands of Jews that decide to put on this mask that, oh, we're white now, we need to end racism, we need to end bigotry, we need to end misogyny. It's really quite astonishing how often they're Jewish. It's about 99% of the time. That's what we need to prove. We don't need to go out and say, okay, well, they're Jewish because of this haplogroup and this haplogroup and this haplogroup. It doesn't matter, because they do it for us most of the time. Like, I don't know how you haven't noticed this yet, if you're woke to the JQ, that there is a difference between us. Like,
y'all little crackers to me.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Nog.
Y'all all crackers and honkies to me, man.
Oh my God. Well, at least we can have a good laugh about it. Whatever. Listen, y'all basketball American motherfuckers. Triggered. Basketball Americans.
Hoopress is so pissed right now. He doesn't even want to smile. He's so mad when I say that. I love it.
It was probably it's a nice smile. Come on, just me.
I mean, it's just like I don't understand like what specific information you're trying to get with Jews about us differentiating whites from Jews when we literally people. Now, hold on. When we can literally say, like, these people can't digest the fact that there's IQ differences between Jews, that there's certain diseases that Jews can get that whites don't get. Like, I don't know why we need to delve into it any deeper when these people kind of refuse to even acknowledge those simple facts about genetic differences between Jews and between white people.
Well, here's the thing. When you're an attorney, right, and you're pleading your case, what you want to do is build as much evidence as possible for your case. What it seems like to me is you're complacent on the evidence that you've built up instead of continuing to build evidence to plead your case.
Okay, look,
we can literally show.
We're not in law, dude. We're in the art of propaganda. This is all we have.
No, you are. Well, here's the thing.
No. Rational dialectics don't work with people.
You said you want to red pill white people into thinking
no, I don't. I don't want to red pill white people at all. I would just like to get enough white people to be know of their identity, that they're like, oh, we're getting screwed over on this. Once you try and educate the masses, that doesn't work. You don't need to educate the masses. You just need to convince enough of them that, oh, what this guy is saying is correct. I'm going to follow him. That's what works.
Right. I was about to say, now, one issue that comes with that strategy, because I mean, it's a workable strategy. I'm not going to say that it's not completely workable. By some stretch, if you were to get enough white people to do that, that would work. Now, what you're going to end up doing is, once you finally get enough people to fall behind your plan and to, basically take over or, control whatever means you need, whether that's the entire government, whether that's the whole structure, you're going to have this group of white people that you didn't red pill or that you didn't get on board. They're going to basically pull their resources together, fund, create another group. And eventually, like I said, you're going to have an opposing group that's going to come forward. And they're basically, over the time, eventually they're going to get big enough, and everything's going to swing back and forth like a pendulum, basically. They're going to rise up. Eventually, it might not be for decades, but eventually, because you weren't thorough enough to provide enough evidence.
Dude, you can't get average people to even read like classic philosophy instead of Harry Potter. Like we're like you. I understand what you're saying, but like it's unreasonable to try and get everyone to read reactionary literature, let alone ethnic genealogy, to try and figure out, oh, they're white. Like that's not the point of what we're trying to do.
Okay, so if you can't get them to read, then what you at least need to do is you need to get rid of the obstacles that are going to basically destroy your progress. Because if they're constantly getting material from the other side is saying, well, hey, the white people are Jews, or they're basically arguing against something, you're basically they're still going to end up being an obstacle in your way. There's nothing that they have that's feeding them this bullshit information, i.e. the media, this Jewish
right, and the only obstacle along the way is diversity. The only obstacle right now is multiculturalism. Once
so
that's,
my thing
done,
is,
it's like basically a utopia. Like that's the first step, is to differentiate these people. And then once we do that, it's a very simple thing after that.
Okay, so what's after that then? How do we get rid of the media after that? You know, how do we get rid of all these extra forces after that? Now that we've differentiated Jews from white people, how do they all, you know?
Yo, we don't even know the difference between alt-right, alt-light, and alt-white.
I do, and I'm the guy that's gonna end the movement, according to you. I believe I'm okay on this one. I know what I'm talking about here.
Hoopers, you don't listen well.
I
said we, which includes me, because I still know the difference between alt-right and alt-white. And that was the premise, and that was, you're cutting me off, and that was the premise of this video. I have about 15 minutes left here before I gotta go. So I was hoping we could just figure out what the difference is between alt-right and alt-white. So when I leave this conversation, I feel like I've gained some education on the matter.
Nazis, not Nazis.
Okay. Who are the Nazis? Are the alt-right the Nazis, and is the alt-white the Nazis?
Yeah.
I'm shit posting.
Yeah. No, it's us. Look, as I said at the beginning,
you guys are the white nationalists, right? Now,
sure.
You guys are alt-right.
Alt-right is more of an umbrella term that encompasses several different sects underneath.
So alt-right is not white nationalist.
No.
Yes. I went over this at the very beginning. The alt-right are they're civic nationalists. They are people that believe in integration. They believe in, we're all pink on the inside. We're all the same. This is fine, and we can all live together peacefully without identity politics.
I like them. Where are they? I want to meet them.
Why would you not?
Why would you want to hang out with them? They're terrible.
No, hold on. Why would you not?
The alt-right is like Cernovich. It's like it's Gavin McGinnis. It's these people that
I don't even know these people.
Yeah, because I know you don't care about white people. And that's why
you don't know
exactly.
This is why you don't know the difference between us. It's the same thing with you guys in Chapo Trap House. Is you don't bother to investigate your enemies. You don't do you do research on all this stuff supposedly, but these people that the media says
alt-right's not my enemy. So I have no
trust
reason.
Me, dude. like your quality
of
life
stop, Sean.
Is probably not going to be as good when we're in charge. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I understand that. I understand that. You know, and by all means, I welcome that. So you know, again, free will. So you know, that's how you think. That's fine.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think free will. I think will to power.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But again, I like the alt-right people better personally.
Okay. Let me no. Let me tell you why you shouldn't like the alt-right people. Sean, stop. Hold on. Just good job.
And it's like you describe these people with other people. You know, it's like, it's Cernovich, is this Bryden? Help me.
Let me try to do the thing. Here's why you should not like the alt-right people. They don't like identity politics. The Hoteps obviously do, because you were concerned about black people. They say we're all pink on the inside, whatever, and they're not concerned about black interest or white interest or any other interest. They're concerned about.
How do they feel about the Jews?
They love the Jews.
Yeah, Israel's our greatest ally to them.
Again.
Okay, now see, I have a problem.
Yeah,
dude, you like the alt-right? It's fun.
I mean,
just got similar interests.
You guys said that you want to work towards your people's best interests. The alt-right, if you literally single your people out to you guys just wanting to work for your people, the alt-right are going to have an issue with that, because they're like, why can't we all work for each other? So those are the kind of people. Those are the kind of people that they don't want people to work for their individual group's interests, which is a problem.
Oh.
That's
we're the best you got, buddy. We're the best you got.
I was about to say, see, here's how we... okay, so here's where we're going to be at. I don't give a fuck if we like the alt-right, if we like the alt-right. I honestly don't care if we like either of them. My main thing is, who can we use and how can we use it? It doesn't matter if we share the same fucking identity. At the end of the day, As long as we can fucking get them to work towards our cause, then that's fine. You know, if we get what we want, that's fine. I don't give a damn if in the end they turn around, they say, oh, well, you know what? We think all white, we think all white people and black people, should have this or that, If they've already helped us out, that's all that fucking matters. And that's my main point of it is hey,
they might be able to they might be able to help you, but they're not going to help us. Like ours is not something that we can do in half measures. Our movement.
So you guys need us.
So who is the new right?
Oh.
The new right and the new right
are scared to call themselves alt-right, I guess. Like
no, it's okay. Well, you have the two separate. You have the new right, which is what Countercurrents, Greg Johnson and Countercurrents has dubbed, and that's basically what the alt-right is. But then you have people like Cernovich and Paul Joseph Watson who tried to differentiate. After Hailgate, they tried to differentiate the alt-right from the alt-right, and they just started calling the alt-right the new right. And it's not going to work because it's the new right in America is already another identitarian movement, which they're too stupid to research that out.
Yeah.
It's painful, but the issue that I'm seeing right now is that there's too much faction, too many factions right now, and everybody's working against each other. Well, I think, and this is probably going to be my last thing. I was about to say, you can go on if you want.
Just say, I think that our whole main thing that we can all agree on is, holy shit, the Jews are fucking us all.
Okay, then that's going to be the main thing. Now, my thing is, instead of trying to divide all of these groups and all this, if we all agree on the fact that the Jews are fucking us over, then let's unite based on the common need of getting fucking rid of the Jews and stop arguing, about our individual policy positions. Because again, we won't get to fucking have the conversation if we don't get the Jews out the way. And if you guys have 110 different, ideologies on what makes you on this, that, and the third, it doesn't, y'all aren't going to work together. So like I said, we need to come just from a utilitarian point.
Move, Jews. Get out the way. Get out the way, Jews. Get out the way.
Like I said, so we need.
You fucking white people keep empowering it. Keep empowering it. Stop that.
My muscles just got bigger. You see this shit? My arms just got fucking bigger. I got stronger. Shit, stop it. Keep your power.
Get your own fucking music and you recite that.
We had Johnny Rebel and everybody get mad. You're like, send them all back to Africa, and then nobody like that.
But like I said, that's the main thing, and that's really what I'm seeing with a lot of these movements. And you guys have too many movements within the movement. All right. At some point, you guys are going.
At this point, the alt-right aren't ours. Like they counter signal us constantly. Like they're their own thing. And 100%. It's just like, I don't even know why they call themselves alt-right. Like they're kind of the people that just need to be like the basic. They just need to be like the basic bitch Republicans. Like they need to be the Civic Nationalist Republican Party, like the cucked Republican Party at this point.
They're just use them. But hold on. When you say like, oh, you guys are so fragmented, like me and Sean here, fucking hubris, like we disagree on shit.
Quite a bit.
But, yeah, quite a bit. But at the same fucking time, it's like, we're both alt-right, and like we'll figure out the fucking differences on bullshit later. Right now we have our main thing. Am I wrong, hubris? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, but yeah. Later on, we'll talk.
Later on, we'll fight.
And I mean, the question is going to come back to: can you use them? Can you use the alt-right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We can't.
They did their use. Their use is a bigger message that's easier to take and kind of like a stepping stone to us. But like the fact of the matter is, even they themselves are now fading into irrelevancy. You had like the bass stick man guy that was out in Berkeley, and PJW is like, well, people have the right to defend themselves, but I don't like what this guy did. And everyone, all of his fans that are just basic bitch Trump supporters are like, no, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that guy's awesome. And also the other thing that they do, which is another thing that we didn't get to talk about, but like we don't really care about this idea of rights and freedom of speech. They're willing to defend freedom of speech and give it over to the left, and then as soon as the left is in power, which they are now, they're trying to pass hate speech laws which shut down discussion. I don't really give a fuck. That's a smart move by their part. They're doing the right thing.
And see, I disagree with that. This is reactionary versus white nationalists, you know. But at the same time, it's like for now, we're gonna embrace each other, going like, okay, fine, we're both alt-right, whatever. We don't get on board. I disagree with him on that, but that's we're a lot more together than fragmented on the alt-right than I think it comes off as, because like everybody's just looking at like Twitter posts and blog posts and shit where we're all just mad at each other and saying all this bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's still like, I'm still upset when he gets banned again. I'm like, oh, fuck, now I got to follow him again on his 8th account, you know? But I'm still going to do it even though we disagree on some shit. At the end of the day, we want the same thing, and we'll argue about the logistics later because we have such a large task in front of us.
That was, you know, basically my whole point that I was going to make in general was, hey, you know, we got to find a way. It doesn't give a damn, you know, how many different groups or something else. We have to find a way to put them to use, even if their use is dwindling. We have to find something we can do with them in order to basically get rid of the Jews. Because I mean, you say that their usefulness, is done. I
agree with you. It's just great. They were like, basically get rid of the Jews, and I'm like, oh my god, somebody record that. That's great.
No. I mean, by all means, I'm not. Like I said, when I say this again, catch all, I'm talking about basically the ones in power. You know, the ones in power, the ones causing this issue. So, once again, you guys have got to find. You guys have got to basically work with them to find a way to get rid of it. Otherwise, you know, their use isn't over, because I mean, you're not any closer to your goal except for maybe, you know, a few handfuls of people. That's it.
We have a guy with 50 million subscribers on YouTube making Jew jokes every video. This is pretty normal. There's students in high schools yelling "Hail Hitler" at their class.
Are they doing
we're pretty close to reaching our goal, I'd say.
Are they doing it seriously, or are they doing it ironically?
I don't care. It doesn't matter, because politics is downstream from culture. Once this becomes normalized as it is now, it's only a matter of time where it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should look into this guy that everyone calls everyone else. Oh, Hitler? Oh, wow, he didn't do anything wrong?
Maybe you should look into the fact the guy who said politics is downstream from culture was a Jew. Uh-oh, Mr. Reactionary. Uh-oh.
Box right twice a day. So.
I like giving Huber shit. We had an argument one day. He's a great guy, though. And you're a great guy, too.
Yeah,
but I think you're a good guy.
Hey guys, I'm going to. I just want to say thank you for the conversation. I truly enjoyed myself, and thank you for having me on. I hope we have another chat soon.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have you back again soon. This was fun.
Pump all your stuff, dude.
Yeah, I know. Plug your site, plug your Twitter, plug everything.
Hotep Jesus, HotepNation.com. Nice simple, baby.
Hey, like I said, I think we're doing good right here, but again, another thing we're going to have to do, you know, we're going to have more of these talks. We're going to have to kind of iron things out as well. But the good thing is that we're actually able to sit here and have these talks. You know, we're able to sit here and argue amongst ourselves in a productive manner. So I think we've actually came a little bit closer towards figuring out who each and everybody was. So
yeah. I mean, I know I understand what Hotep is a little bit better at this point. So I mean, it's good. I mean, I have a good time talking to you guys. I hope we can do this again soon on another topic, maybe just straight up 2 hours talking about the Jews.
Or maybe we can do the actual topic. I mean, that would be nice too. But yeah, it's been wonderful talking to you guys. I'm really, really excited about it. I understand Hotep so much more now, and I see your crucifix, bro. You Catholic?
Actually no, just I was about to say regular Baptist. That's the
heretic.
I know, right? Heresy tears. Sorry. I'm like I said, Hoteps, we are a heterogeneous group. You got a lot of people to us, so cheers. Hey, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Please.
Yeah, that's the homemade water.
Are you able to stay for a little bit longer, Flex?
Ah, shit. I was about to say, once 10 hits, I'm pretty much going to be off as well. But,
Okay.
and this is 10 Central Time. But, of course, I mean, it's up to you guys on how you guys want to go.
No, I mean, I just kind of want to leave the discussion open to just kind of like bullshitting at this point.
Bring in more hoteps.
Yeah, I can. Hubris, did you want to bring Autostotle in?
He's here.
Oh, hi. You're like there. You're like there IRL. That's awesome. Let me see if anybody else from Discord wants to come in to see us.
Oh no! Don't bring a bunch of alt-righters in to gang up on the fucking Marshawn Lynch. Come on, that's
what he talks. What they'll love him. He talks about the Jews constantly. It's great.
Yeah,
I knew it was. I told you it was going to
gang up on them.
Yeah, I told you it was going to evolve into a bunch of fucking like. Oh my god, it's the fucking Jews.
I mean, I was going to say, you're prophetic in that you are very prophetic. That was a great prognostication. I'm going to put it out there.
Because
if whatever you're doing doesn't work out, you've got a pretty damn good career as a clairvoyant. So just don't let it go.
I mean, I think it's just kind of easy to tell that if you have we already know the hoteps are kind of like woke to the JQ, and then obviously the alt-righters, like eventually, I don't know, 5 minutes into the conversation, it's going to be lucky if we can go 5 minutes without talking about the Jews. So
I really can't. I'll be having a conversation at work, and they were like, "Oh yeah, did you hear about the Trump thing?" And I'm like, "It's the fucking Jews."
Well, unfortunately, I was about to say, unfortunately, I mean, Israel has their hands in a lot of shit, and unfortunately, a lot of that shit is our shit as well. So. You know, we get into that.
Let's see.
What do we have? What's so fucked is, like, honestly, I hate what's happening to the actual Africans. Like, you're not African, you're African American. You got admixture in there of European, you know, which you know is evidenced by you being woke AF, fam. Are you mad that we stole your fucking things on Twitter? Like, Black Twitter's my favorite Twitter. I love stealing all their shit. I put like 80 emojis on everything, so like 16-year-old black girls do. It's so fantastic.
I mean, at some point, like I said, at some point, we're going to be acknowledged as a base of creativity. You know, like I said, we're a very good base of creativity when it comes to memetics and everything. You know, everything else. Of course, that's just what it's going to be.
Why all the emojis? Why all the emojis? Why? It's always like, one is not enough. It's like 80 of them. Like every time. Every time I talk to a nog on Twitter, it's like, oh yeah, this, and then it's like 80 emojis in a subtweet every time. They're like, oh, he's so racist. Crying, laughing emoji, like 8 of them, you know, in a row, and it's like one would have done. One would have been fine.
Oh man, I was about to say, look. Sometimes you gotta add emphasis. That's the only thing I know. That's the base of how I see it. So.
Okay. That's fair. Sometimes you gotta add emphasis. Oh, what's the things you hate about white people on the fucking Twitter? Because I'd like to know. Because I know that there's got to be something.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I was about to say. The things I hate about white people on Twitter, well, I mean, aside from the fucking virtue signaling.
Okay, right-wing people on Twitter, not these fucking. I disavow them, dude. I hate them.
All right. Let's go ahead. Right-wing. Oh man, let's see. I think if I hear my racial purity a few more times repeated, like we understand that's your goal. Come on. You know that's your goal. You guys, let's be a little bit more nuanced. That's
but we know we're being ridiculous. We just have fun purity spiraling. That's all.
Oh my God.
You gotta check.
Yeah, there's a term for it. It's worse than I thought. It's worse than I thought.
You've never heard the purity spiraling term?
I was about to say. Look, I'm not from, like I said, those are the kind of realms I don't go in. I like to just stay.
Well, yeah, of course you're kept out for a reason.
I was about to say, trust me, because look, unless y'all are talking in all private chats and everything, I can pretty much see. I just avoid, like this shit. I'm in the, yeah. Yeah, let's not even go that way.
You know what we haven't brought up, which we should bring up, which is very important, and Erica, you need to put it down in the description. Mm-hmm. And Hubris, I hope that you put this in the next reactionary report, is the researcher fund for Jew Goldstein.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it down in there.
So, yeah, let's do that because yesterday, he was arrested by the FBI on that Eckenwald bullshit for a tweet that he sent. And there's a lot of things to talk about with that. Mm-hmm. But just go ahead and check that out on the researcher page. If we can get it actually in the chat right now, I don't know if there's anybody in there, but you can go and check out Twitter and search hashtag free Jew Goldstein and check that out. Yeah, I know, but one of our guys
Goldstein's
is
my
not in a good way
father.
right
Just call me Jew, okay?
But no, he is in FBI federal custody and has been since yesterday. And a lot of big names have already put some stuff out there for him, but we set up the researcher, and that's really important. So that's good. Becky Barnstein set that up, and got it. Oh my god, accurate, but come on, come on, man, accurate. But if you have the money, please donate to that. He's got a fuck ton of legal fees at his thing, and it's actually the most Jewy fucking thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. His lawyer is Lieberman, and it's pretty bad. So please go ahead and go to researcher, look for Jew Goldstein Legal Defense Fund, and go ahead and try to help him out as much as you can, because he is in the most trouble that any of us have ever been in, I think, ever.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know. I mean, none of us have been put in FBI custody so far. So I don't know. Richard Spencer got arrested over in Hungary, wherever it was. Where did he go over there? Sean, where did he go to do a talk a couple years ago? Do you remember where he got arrested?
It's probably Austria or the UK. Those are the two worst.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of those. He was in custody for like a weekend. But I mean, other than that, like, we haven't really, I don't know, the alt-right hasn't really done anything to like get in trouble.
Right. Well, he's in a lot of trouble at the moment, and it's over actually nothing. So if you have any money, go ahead and donate it over to help do that. It's been under 24 hours, or I guess now over 24 hours, and it's raised almost $4,000. So please help out our guy, because Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, he hasn't heard from anybody. He doesn't know we're raising this money right now. He doesn't know. He hasn't had contact with any of us, but it's a big deal. So as soon as somebody makes contact with him, I think it's good. It's a nice, solid white pill to say, hey, we're out here for you, brother. This matters. So.
I was about to say, shit, sounds like he's in deep. Sounds like it.
It ain't great. The Hoteps don't get banned from Twitter.
Oh, fuck no. I was about to say, shit, we get banned from Twitter all the fucking time.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I've known you guys have gotten banned from Twitter quite a few times. I mean, I don't really know what exactly you guys have done to get banned from Twitter, but...
We just call for ovens all the time, and we ban fucking Eckenwald and like Rick Wilson and shit. What do you guys do to get banned from Twitter?
I know.
Honestly, I think it's just, at this point, we're just antagonizing women, or
It's a very necessary thing to do, is get women off of the internet. That's secretly my number one goal.
I was about to say, we haven't even said anything to that point yet. They still find ways. So they're really playing up the misogynist angle. Let's just go there. But again, who knows? Who knows?
I understand. Okay, that makes sense. I hate women. That is wonderful. God damn it! I like the Hoteps. I do. You guys just need to just be the black nationalist that I framed you as before I came into this debate tonight. It's not a debate. It was a hangout. What are you going to call
Yeah,
it?
it was more of a hangout. It wasn't really.
Yeah,
a
it's like
debate.
when Rockwell sat down, you know? It's like, Marcus Garvey, came and talked to the KKK, It was like, kind of like that. I do
I'm
have
sure it was
more.
equally productive.
Are you being sarcastic?
No,
can't tell 'cause you're
not at
black.
all. I know, darn it. We just have that complex sense of sarcasm going right now. So
No, you just have that face. You just have that face. I can't even tell. Like I know when you're happy when you're smiling, and then it's like, oh no, he just robbed me.
Of course. Hey, look, I was about to say, look, half of the fun of being sarcastic is having people guess whether you're sarcastic or not. So I'll leave that one up to you guys. But I've actually got to go ahead and get it on the road. It's pretty much going to be, yeah. So let's see. What is it? Are y'all Eastern time?
I'm Eastern. Yeah.
I'm West Coast. We're all spread over.
Yeah.
We're everywhere. What are you gonna do about it?
I know, right? Shit, fucking surrounded. Don't worry. We'll develop something to handle that problem. But but no. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, but it's pretty much 10 my time. I've got an early start tomorrow, so I'm going to leave you guys to it. You guys have my contact. Just let's go ahead and set up another get together or arrangement.
Yeah, we'll figure out a topic and we'll talk about it. That'll be good.
Hey, we'll stay.
Erica will be
stay
in charge of it. There'll actually be things to talk about.
Don't worry, guys, and we'll stay on. So, hey, I'll bid you guys adieu.
Yeah, have a good night.
See ya.
Adios.
Right. I know I invited Ayla in here. I don't know where he is. So
He's
he might be
sleeping.
coming.
He said
No, I just talked to him like 2 seconds ago. He was listening. There he is. See, he's here. I told you he's here.
All right. Okay, fine.
Hi.
Hey, Ayla. All the blacks left, so
Yeah.
I knew you were coming.
We're gonna leave because
I
we
got
have to
them
go
running
record
scared.
too.
I knew it.
Sorry, wait, what?
We're gonna leave because we have to go record too because we have.
Oh, okay.
This week.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
fun.
looking forward to the next episode. Everybody check out the fucking reactionary report.
Let's look
Appreciate
at
it.
what he said.
Bye, Sean.
Bye.
Okay, so can you explain Jews to us, Ayla?
Oh, God.
This is a whole thing.
Well, the haplogroups.
Oh, God.
Yeah, for all of those who are not initiated into esoteric Aylerism, a well-known meme. Can you throw up that image on the?
Yeah,
screen?
give me a second. Hold
Who
on.
the fuck is this? Adam Wallace?
It's probably somebody from Identity Europa. I only shared the thing into Identity Europa.
Oh, don't share
Ayla.
anything in Identity Europa. I hear they're terrible. I would never be involved with anyone in Identity Europa.
Let's see. Screen share. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do this. Is that screen share? That's screen share. And then entire screen. Oh my God. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, that's good. And just make sure
Okay.
it's presenting to everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So in the middle there, you have the Jewish diaspora group. They're 3% Arab, 2% from East Europe, which is probably Khazarian. For those of you who may be familiar with the Khazarian replacement hypothesis, this essentially refutes that. This 95% you see in the middle here is essentially it's Levantian. It's common to both Sephardic and Ashkenazic Jews, and it's the essentially the Palestinian Israeli, Israelite population following the diaspora of the Roman Emperor Hadrian, who exiled the Jews to Babylon and Alexandria. So this is basically what makes up a Jew. Yeah, they're 2% European, on average, but they're certainly not European. I mean, if you saw an orange that was 2% apple.
Oh my God! I referenced this earlier when I was talking about your fucking purity spiraling.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was trying to understand. Do we need this reference anymore? Or are we good?
No, I think
I think what we need to do, play Tiny Tim Wise.
No, for fuck's
I just put in the thing, play Tiny Tim Wise. We'll take a fucking break for the duration of the song, and we'll come back, and then we'll finish this out.
Okay.
So get it all up. We'll play Tiny Tim Wise, and then we'll be good to go. Oh goddamn it, Ayla! Where were you when the blacks were here? The blacks. Where were they? Where were you? Well, no, we had a good thing. Did you know they're not black nationalists?
Okay, I'm playing it now. So what are we doing? Are we playing this now or are we talking?
Play it now. Let's do a break. It's not playing. You've done it terribly.
No, hold on. Okay, hold on. I don't have the software to. Hold on. Let me fix it so we can just play through my. No,
so anyway,
no, go ahead.
It's
talk.
okay.
Okay, we'll talk. We'll talk while you try to figure it out. But anyway,
you can fucking in YouTube's native, editor without having to re-upload. So if when you're about to play the video, if you clap, then it will make it easier for you.
No,
to
we're live streaming on this.
By which parts they cut.
No, we're just live streaming on. We're just live streaming on.
Well, in that case, this is awful dead air.
Oh
okay,
yeah,
then in that case,
that's why I'm trying
to answer your question. To answer your question as to what I was doing, I was in a Discord server talking to people about the Jews, and I heard that you guys were talking about the Jews and talking about me at the same time. So naturally, I thought, my spidey sense was tingling, as it were.
Yeah, I got a message from a guy who I've never got a message before from, who was like, I got Ayla Sussex in the chat for you. He wants the invite. Well, at least I get tired of waiting. He's in the Discord if you want it. And like, all I could think is like, well, I could have gotten Ayla Sussex in.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Bryden's practically my brother. It's how long have we known each other for? Like,
not that long. Like 8 months.
Yeah.
Or like every day for 8 months. Yeah. Enough to start like a fucking kind of 2 websites together, but one website together. You're still the goddamn editor-in-chief over at ARC. So
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't figure out the settings on this thing, so the video just isn't going to work. I'll just link it in the description so people can watch it or whatever.
Oh my god! Hey, let's take care of it. You're awful. I want to hear Tiny Tim Wise.
I don't know how to work these things. I'm just a woman. Don't get mad at me.
To be fair, I've been doing Hangouts for a while now, and I still can't work out how to stream videos to the audience.
Well, I mean, you know how to do it, right? Like, I don't. Why are you like making me do all this? It doesn't make any sense.
Don't make me do things. Why didn't you play it through the YouTube app? The YouTube app's sound, it goes to each of our receiving channels. It doesn't actually get broadcast to the audience.
Oh, so that's
see the video. They won't hear the audio.
That's kind of useless then.
All right. Well, fuck. Then we can't take a break. All right. Fuck. Mm-hmm. How does everybody else do it on the internet? Anyway, yeah, this is just awesome dead air. It's really like a good 5 minutes. It is nothing.
The blacks are gone. It's okay, but it can be dead air.
Well, sometimes on the Pleb podcast, when we do a break, Adam would just go back later and just cut out like the 10-minute segment where we weren't doing or saying anything.
Ayla, have you listened to Hollywood Babylon?
No.
Oh man, I run 2 podcasts now. Yeah, Hollywood Babylon is just me and this guy Miller, and we just talk about living in Los Angeles as a white nationalist. It's pretty rough.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. I still haven't. I haven't had time. I've been really busy.
It's a good one. I got the endorsement from Careless Rex. He said I listened to the first half an hour of Hollywood Babylon and I had to turn it off so that I didn't run my car off the road. Holy shit, you need to move, dude. Just move.
I know. Why aren't you like in Montana or Alaska or something at this point, or pretty much any other place than California?
Because it's our land.
You know what they say? This land is your land. This land is my land.
So get the fuck off it. I'm not, no, see, we're just waiting for the great quake, okay? Because there's going to be a giant earthquake, and me and Miller are both going to survive. And then I'm going to, like, crawl out of the rubble and then Miller's going to be right there, like it's like straight out of a video game. He's going to throw me an AR-15 and be waiting in a van, and I'm going to go, all right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you guys already know you're going to be like the minorities, and it's going to be a bunch of Hispanics.
Oh, no. Did you not hear what I said?
Looting.
Did you not hear what I said when I said he's going to throw me an AR-15 from a van?
You're like 120 pounds soaking wet. You can't shoot an AR-15.
That's factually inaccurate. You could be any pounds and shoot an AR. But we're gonna run through the fucking streets with a van, right? And we're gonna go just shooting at their feet, getting them to run off. We're gonna take all their resources. And then we're gonna, like hold up in like the Lowe's Hotel. And it'll be good. We'll start a gang. It'll be a nice thing.
Good. There's nothing worth protecting in America anyway. It's only a matter of time before the crown puts down your little rebellion.
Don't you guys think you should take care of your land a little bit harder before you thinking about colonializing ours again?
Well, this is the problem. The kids ran away from home, so we had to get someone to do the chores.
Nah, dude, bruh, you're a Muslim country.
Yeah, nothing like living in Afghanistan.
Yeah, you're Muslim country, bruh.
We actually are. It's quite pathetic. But, I mean, that's only the single largest religious sect at the moment. So, but I mean. That doesn't count nominal, Church of England believers, etc. And to be fair, I think the majority demographic is probably agnostic atheists.
Not much better.
No, not really.
It's quite a bit better, I'd say.
Well, I mean, there's never been atheists that's been like, oh, look, there's nothing after this, and then blow themselves up. Like, I understand that. But, without those fucking, or at least culturally Christian views, your society's doomed.
I mean, a lot of the time, too, I see the atheists making excuses for Islam also.
Oh, I disagree. It's generally the Christians making excuses for Islam.
Oh, well, I mean, I know the Christians do just because, we're supposed to accept everybody, and yeah. But, I mean, like, a lot of the atheists that I do see, like, they don't rail against Islam, really. I mean, I just don't think, they think all religion is stupid, but then, like, I mean, obviously, if they're the more left atheists, then they kind of make excuses for it because you're being racist if you criticize Islam.
In my experience, Christians tend to like, Muslims, etc., more than they do atheists, and particularly with radicals, actually, they do often defend Islam on just about all grounds. There's actually an interesting video. I'll just send you this.
Okay.
I guarantee it's going to be super exciting. Like everything that Ayla talks about is just like, it's just fucking edge of your seat. Seriously, like around the second hour of that lecture, it's going to be like, hold on to your fucking pants.
Yeah, I'm just sending you a video, Eric.
Okay, are you sending it like through the chat over here, or there it is? Okay, good.
I'm just sending it through.
Okay, I'm guessing. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna guess it's at least a half an hour.
No, it's 13 minutes long.
13 minutes. Okay.
Please don't say
wait, what is it about? Like, I don't. Hold on.
It's a friend of mine who's a tradical. So I don't think we should name the title or the author of the video, but it's a reactionary defense of Islam.
I just had to defend reactionaries against hoteps earlier.
Yeah, you're really referring to radicals, like this seems to be your primary experience in dealing with sort of.
I don't care.
But like me and myself and Kate are endless are reactionaries. We're more neo-reactionary.
Well, what in your professional opinion, what would you classify me as?
A drunk.
Okay, fuck off.
First and foremost, like professional occupation, drug. No.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, that's just Irish.
I'm obviously taking the piss. Yeah, Irish, precisely.
Yeah.
No, I'd classify you as a white nationalist. I think that's a very applicable label for you. It's it's a broad term, but you're quite a broad guy, not physically, but figuratively.
I just when everybody starts trying to nail down all these specifics, I'm like, dude, just fucking, can we like stop for a second and go, let's get all the white people here first. Let's get the whole crew together before we start nailing down specifics. It's like, oh well, we can't have that. And I'm like, no, man, no, we're still waiting on people. Come on, like the whole party's not here to the dinner.
It's like the Infinity Wars starting before the next Guardians of the Galaxy. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why on earth would that happen?
Oh man, the only reason I'm still alive is that Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2 is coming out this year.
Isn't that coming out in like April or something like that?
It's soon.
I'm excited for it. I hope it's good.
It's gonna be good. Baby Groot.
Yeah, I know, he's adorable.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I once asked Bryden whether he would rather secure the existence of our people and a future for white children, or and never watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or not secure us and watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and he chose Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Dude, I like that movie. And
hold on, I have to show you something I made, Bryden. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Oh God. Guardians of the Galaxy is like crazy good, dude. Like, it's the only thing I have to look forward to this year. Like, when that comes out, I'm going to the movie theater to watch it, and I'm not bringing a friend because I know they're gonna want to talk to me. I'm gonna watch this movie, and I'm probably gonna hang out in the movie theater and watch it again. It's a tough one because the first one was so good. It was so good. I don't know. I mean, what are you gonna do? Nah, I'm sad you missed the Hotep argument. Were you watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching. Yeah, I particularly liked Big Dum Dum.
Jesus.
Okay, are you ready, Bryden?
Okay, I'm ready.
Hi!
Yes.
I made that.
What, you made it?
Yeah, I used
Out
to
of what?
Clay. I sculpt.
Really?
Oh wow.
Really?
I thought you bought that or something.
No, I made it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's my baby.
Holy shit, that looks awesome.
Thank you.
Although I do slightly want to signal against you calling it your baby. I don't think you should be a surrogate child like that. I think you should actually probably procreate.
It was
eventually, if I can find a non-cucked guy in Florida, then happily.
I've been pimping you out. At the end of Hollywood Babylon, because our whole last episode was about thoughts. I was like, nah, you need to go and fucking, she's a content creator. She needs to create white kids. Create some
living, breathing content.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sick of all this fucking like, oh, I need a microphone bullshit. Nah. It's not fun.
Mean, I'll get there eventually. I don't
You
know.
won't. You figure it
yes,
out.
I will.
No, that's why we need wheatfields.club.
Well, you're the one, you bought the site, so really, whose fault is that for not like building that up?
The Jews. They're keeping me down. I'd be a billionaire.
I'd like to signal against some of this rampant anti-Semitism on the alt-right.
Well, you sound like a fucking Jew. Why are you punching right? Don't punch right.
Show us your DNA test, you crypto Jew.
Yeah. Mister, I need to have my own website because fucking Arc Media has too many nat socks on it. God damn it.
Just let him do his own thing. Don't count
our signal. Yeah, well, I'm going to let him do it until we get up in the fucking ovens.
It's okay. The Muslims are going to blow him up anyways. He's not going to have the sight for that one.
I know. You don't even get the chance. We're not even going to get to Albania before Ahmed fucking blows your ass up. Oh, well, actually, I stand against the tenements of national. So,
What do you think about National Socialism now?
I hate that. I'm starting to agree with
under an
National
absolute
Socialism.
monarch, even if it is a theocratic one, versus a fascist state. I don't know. Between Islam and National Socialism, it's a bit of a toss-up.
Whoa, back it up. What's wrong with a fascist state?
Fundamentally, even if you like the random, unappointed bureaucracy that happens to amass power through whatever means it happens to have done so,
Which already happens all the time, and things work fine.
Shut up. How do you ensure succession? Yeah. How are you to ensure that body represents the same principles and has the same character as the initial founding body? It's like, if you think of the United States of America, for instance, endorsement is a huge part of getting elected. A big part of who is elected is who was elected previously.
Right.
Yes,
And
or even like the College of Cardinals in the Catholic Church. You can see how in a very short time, such an insular group that, has to be added to via the consent of the group itself, you can see how the character and the mandate of that particular municipal body has diminished over time.
I understand. I understand.
You need to nail down succession. You need to nail down laws. People need to be accountable, and you need a system of weights and balances. Fascism is great as a transitionary system only.
I agree with you entirely. Transition as a transitionary system, absolutely. But in the here and the now, we do need fascism, and we need a Pinochet. That's what I want. I want a totalitarian fucking goddamn dictator. We need a benevolent dictator like Pinochet was. Obviously, it didn't work out for Chile, but you know what? It kind of did work out for Chile. Only now are they starting to hear the whispers of communism. But as Pinochet said,
it would have been great if he had 12 sons, too many for them to assassinate. Yeah.
Well, no, he
succeeded him.
Well, you had a son that is making a party in Chile now that is a really cucked version of what he was about. But the whispers of and Marxism are throughout Chile again, and I think that it will be bad for them because, and there's a great podcast on TRS, Beyond the Wall, in the last episode. They had a guy who lived in Chile who said, a few years ago, wasn't that big of a thing if people praised General Pinochet, but now it is considered a bad thing. And he was at a party where a leftist was saying the biggest accomplishment that they have made is that nobody praises my General Pinochet. So they're moving towards that yet again. They are moving towards that. But what General Pinochet said, which I think is so true, is that communism is like a ghost because you could never kill that shit. It's an idea, and it's going to live there forever. And the same goes for nationalism. But communism is like a ghost, and you could never get rid of it, ever. And I fear that Chile will fall to the communists yet again. We are going to be in an eternal war with the communists against the nationalists. Now, right now, it looks like we've made some major wins, but we cannot be complacent. But, Wilders lost in the Netherlands, and that's a shame to me because I'm Dutch, and my Dutch people. Hold on. My Dutch people lost to that, and they will become a Muslim country. But we need Marine Le Pen to come up and say nationalism is a good thing for the French. And we'll do that, and we will slowly see the destruction of the European Union and return to a pre-World War II era, hopefully within my lifetime. But we don't know for sure.
There's
The demonization of Pinochet in Chile is bullshit. And I hate that because, like, I mean, people were like, oh, Hitler this, Hitler that. And I'm like, whatever. Fuck Hitler, dude. Pinochet is my guy. I love me some Pinochet. Explain to me what Pinochet did wrong.
Well, come on, Bryden. You can't just throw lefties out of helicopters.
Wrong, kiddo.
I mean,
I think fundamentally.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think fundamentally, the reason that you're seeing Pinochet's son at the moment trying to amass power and, you know, him having to cuck in order to do so is that things aren't bad enough. You know, you really need things to be really quite bad before people are open to the kinds of, relatively extreme policies that that Pinochet undertook.
But the things they're complaining about now.
Yeah, if his son was
him, ultimate anarcho-capitalism, dude.
But if his son had
free market everywhere in Chile, it's an ANCAP.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So if you would, if his son would have taken over, he wouldn't need to amass any power now, and so there would be no need for him to cut. You see the same thing with UKIP in the UK. The closer they get to power, the further they get from being the solution. You only find that if you don't consolidate power. The only way you can consolidate power is, you know, by maintaining the dynasty, so the dynastic goals remain intact and remain achievable.
Yeah, but what happens if you get a really shitty country, you know? I mean, that happened with the fucking, you know, African countries as well. And, well, I mean, you saw what happened to them. They totally sucked. Like the likelihood of getting a Pinochet, because like if we would have done that here in America, we would have had the Bushes and the Clintons. Maybe, hopefully, we get that with the Trumps. You know, I'm fine with that.
That's actually not the case. You know, you can have dual dynasties. You can have, you know, you can do all sorts to legitimize the particular ruling house, but the concept of dynasty did its job in the American system. You know, the Kennedys, good dynasty, the people knew to vote for them, they knew what they were about, you know, which is why so many of them were assassinated, I can imagine. You have the Clintons and the Bushes, who were, you know, have become dynasties, relatively well known. People knew not to vote for them because they knew what they were about, and so the prospect of the concept of dynasty has done its job. You know, people knew not to vote for the Bushes because they knew it was more of the same. They understood that George W. Bush was much the same as George H.W. Bush, and Jeb Bush is basically the same. They have all the same advisors, you know. It's basically the same administration. It's more of the same. And people knew what to expect in you know, in other more dynastic republics like the Roman Senate. You know, they knew to vote for a guy or to not vote for a guy based on what his family had accomplished. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Seeing here in France right now is the Le Pens need to say, hey, Marine Le Pen needs to say, hey, look, I'm not like my dad.
Yeah, precisely. She has, and you know, Jean-Marie Le Pen. You know, even though he's cut off all ties, he's actually funding the Front National still. But then you have his daughter, Marie Le Pen, who's leading the party, and you have his granddaughter, Marion Marchais Le Pen, who's achieved some.
She's a hottie with a body.
Yeah, she's one tasty cookie. Yeah. Recently divorced, as well as I understand it.
Oh, hey, white people out there, why don't you go ahead and fucking send her a letter, huh?
They all like 3 generations of the family live in this one house together. You know, they're French. They're weird.
I didn't know that. I gotta piss. I didn't know they all live together. That's creepy.
That's weird. I never heard of that before.
Yeah. Even with her divorced husband now, like he still lives there.
Nah, that's creepy. I'm gonna piss. That's weird. Nah, not into that. Nah, French are weird. Fuck them. Just be a Muslim country. I don't care anymore.
I don't know. As shitty as the frogs might be, they don't deserve the swarm from Algeria that has plagued them in recent years.
No, but really though, like, what do you think is going to happen in the French election this year? Like, I mean, I have no doubt that Marine Le Pen is going to win the first round. But how do you think that she's going to do in the second round of voting?
If she wins the first round, all of the other parties will band together to prevent them from. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing for two reasons. One, it keeps them out of power, which I want. And two, it means that things not only will get worse, but people will see that the system is mechanized against that. And so the anti-establishment sentiment that, would traditionally go towards the left will continue to be funneled towards the far right.
I mean, do you think that she's going to win, like, overall, or like actually win the election?
No, I don't think there's any chance of that, because they've all openly said as well they're going to band together to create a coalition government to prevent the Front National from winning the election. So I don't think there's any real chance of winning the election, but certainly a good chance of getting a number of seats, a good chance of getting some real political clout, and for them to recognize that
Jews
the Overton window has shifted to the far right of anything like the Front National in France. I mean, if you look at the the Generation Identitaire, part of the youth wing of the Bloc Identitaire movement that operated out of France, these very virulent movements, these street movements, they are far to the right of the Front National. Even the more basic meme movements, like the Je suis Charles Martel meme that went around after the Charlie Hebdo massacre. For those of you who may not know, Charles Martel was a French king who killed all the Muslims when they came up into tours in France in 730 something AD. So yeah, rather than the whole joining in with the Je suis Charlie meme, they went around Paris and hung down large banners saying Je suis Charles Martel.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's like in the United Kingdom, and Nigel Farage has commented on this. It's like across across Europe at the moment, really. All of these civic nationalist, alt-right type parties, they are all far to the left of the national consensus. And so we can only see two things happening. Either one, they move towards the right, or two, new parties take their place. And I actually think it will be the latter, which is unfortunate.
No, I have to disagree with you, because look, if we
it's different.
Jesus Christ, let me in here.
Hold on. Just one caveat. It's different in America because you have a two-party system. There's no way of getting anything done without, So yeah, sorry.
This is true. Okay, fair. That's fair. Okay, so I mean, you negative my point. You're correct. But I think here in America, if we have that two-party system, which we have, if we start doing, nationalism, and we start doing, like Donald Trump said, merit-based immigration, who do you think that says? Ayla, tell me, who do you think gets in on merit-based immigration?
I think 5% of Indians get in. I think 2% of Nigerians get in. That's at tops, to be fair. That's those are the people who have the biological.
Okay. It's I know you can't hear what I'm saying. I know you can't hear what I'm saying because human beings can't hear at the level of a dog whistle. But who do you think's getting in?
Jews.
Yeah. So, merit-based immigration. It's Europeans that are coming in. Now, and I know that the alt-right gets mad. They're like, oh, well, he's cucking. It's like, give the guy some time. Like, he can't show up first day and be like, you know what? Camps. Like, he just can't do that, Give him some time. Merit-based immigration. That means white. Like, absolutely. We can understand that. So we get merit-based immigration policies.
Well, a lot of the problems with merit-based immigration policies Okay, so just for instance, in the UK, we have the highest standard for medical
You
practitioners.
just want to fucking counter signal everything. You can't just be like, yeah, that's awesome.
Hold on. I mean, I do agree with you on aggregate. That's far that's far better than the current system. But here's the problem with international meritocratic immigration policy. You know.
Okay, that's not what he meant. He was dog whistling and saying white people only. That's what he was saying.
That's not what the legislation is going to say. Come on, it's
oh my god!
If it's going to be by proxy, there are going to be certain flaws, and one of those flaws is going to be the fact that there is no standardized international metric for credentials. So in the UK, where we have such high standards, you can get a medical degree in Zimbabwe, come over here, do a 1-year top-up course, and all of a sudden you can get paid £250,000 a year on the NHS.
Wow.
Jesus.
I mean, most of us don't know what most of those things are, but I'm just saying, look, when he said merit-based immigration, he meant white people.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, yes, I think that's like a high probability, but not necessarily, because I mean, like Ayla said, there's going to be Nigerians and fucking Jews, of course, and there's going to be these people. If they're going to, I don't know if they're going to apply affirmative action type deal to the new immigration quota, to where they're going to take like Nigerians and Arabs, Indians, whatever, over white people. So I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now that they're not. Okay, like this administration is way more woke than any of us want to fucking realize, and I know it's easy to take that black pill and be the fucking victim, but the thing is, that's not happening anymore. Look, he's not our guy. Okay, he's still surrounded by Jews. He still thinks that he can just like fend off all the fucking Jewish influence, but he can't. Gotta worry about it. I mean, dude, like everybody, name a person in the administration right now. I will Google it and I will tell you why they are probably woke to this type of shit. People understand demographic control. They just don't want to understand it in the media. They already know it, but if God forbid somebody tells it to them, they're gonna go, that person's a racist. Because that's what they've been sold by the fucking Jews for a long, long time. It's hurtful. Like when you wake up out of the Matrix, it sucks because they rip that shit out of your head and you go, everything I've been told is a lie. I'm 29 years old. This is bullshit. Honestly, Red Pilled, shit. On HBD with Ayla, because I just knew that I was like, we're all different. On the JQ, I would say it's only been a year on the JQ. Because before that, I was like, I just don't really like them. I know I hate bankers. It sucks. It's a hurtful thing that nobody wants to deal with, because then it's like, oh, my entire life is a lie. And don't get me started on the fucking Holocaust, because I'm still digging into that one and going like, this doesn't add up.
It's quite funny, actually. I looked into the JQ before I was red pilled and came up with the conclusion that there was no Jewish conspiracy. It's quite amusing.
There's no conspiracy. Dude, there's no conspiracy. But there's something about the Jews. There's something about the Jews.
There are cabals and conspiracies within it, though. And
right,
I've covered my position on the JQ before. It's
yeah, but your podcast is super boring, bro.
Well, basically, it's I think fundamentally, particularly with the liberal Jews, it's the liberal secular Jews. They are a people born in the land of another people, so they automatically have to adopt an ideology which allows them to remain there. That's
exactly
at its very base. That excludes several ideologies from from their immediate periphery, if you like.
Well, I mean, and that's exactly what they do. They're a people without a land. And I'm sorry you called your podcast boring, because I do listen to it. But I mean, it's like the haplogroups. I love Ayla Sussex. He's one of the smartest motherfuckers I know. We got friends over you just being like incredibly smart. But they're a problem because they just like, oh, we assimilate to shit. And then they say in their ideology, their whole thing is like, oh, we just assimilate to shit. And I'm like, nah, you don't really assimilate. You pretend to assimilate, and you do your Jew shit. And, that's what they did with, like, I mean, look at my dreidels. I got a dreidel.
Why do you have that in your house?
It was given to me by a Jew.
Do you still have your Ellie Weasel book?
Yeah, Night. Yeah, it's over there.
Have you finished reading it
I
yet?
have not finished it. It is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever read in my entire life. It's like I got like halfway through and I'm just like, this is bullshit. It was rough. I'm gonna finish it, whatever. But yeah, it's bullshit. All right, Ellie Weasel. This is fucking bullshit. Weasel.
I was forced to do a whole book report and art project on it when I was in middle school, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a thing.
It's not real. Like I could take it as a fiction book, which is what I'm gonna finish it out as. And we're like, oh yeah, this is a great story. Wow, this is a harrowing story. But like, no, it's not real. Okay? And like, hi, my name is Bryden Proctor. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I'm here to tell you the Holocaust, as you know it, is a fucking lie. A lot of people died. It was very unfortunate, but Elie Wiesel was a fucking liar, and he made a lot of money of it until he died. So, I don't know what to tell you. Go ahead and cut that one up. Send it to my employer. I don't give a shit. They probably already know. I don't care. I don't care. It's like finding that out was so annoying to me. Just be like, oh shit, like that's just not real.
I think it would annoy anybody to be lied to your entire life about like something that should be major, and then it's just like, oh, okay.
It's just, I mean, well, and it's not that important either. Is like, oh, okay, look, at the end of the day, whether or not it happened, who gives a flying fuck? Like, it was a long time ago that it supposedly happened. Who gives a shit? Who gives a flying fuck? I don't care. Stop trying to bring down your fucking guilt on it. You're like, oh, well, that's where the 6 Gorillion were slaughtered. And it's like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not mad about the Holodomor either. I don't care. Shut up. Stop talking about it. World War II was only annoying to me because people keep bringing it up. Fuck off with all this Nazi shit. Fuck off with all this Holocaust shit. Fuck off with all the Holodomor shit. I don't like if we could take that block of history from World War I to World War II and like, the start and finish of all that being over and just like throw that down the memory hole, then great.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it would be nice. Then the left would like literally have no arguments left. Like that's the only thing left that they use is like World War II and Nazis, and that's it.
Throw it down the memory hole, dude. Everybody stop talking about it. I am so tired of hearing people like, oh, 1488, Hitler did nothing wrong. I'm like, it's funny, but you're not doing anything for us. I don't care. I don't care what Hitler did because he's dead and he has been dead. And even if he ran off to Argentina, he's still fucking dead. So I don't care. It's useless. Sieg Heil, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, I don't fucking care. What are we doing now for our people? White people, where you at? Getting killed by Muslims. Sucks. Controlled by Jews. Sucks. Let's figure that out. No more of this guilt shit. I'm tired of it. The fucking pathological fucking altruism of the white people is bullshit. And I'm tired of it. And I'm going to write that in my suicide note when I fucking blow my face off in a goddamn Facebook live stream. And it's all of you white people's fucking fault.
Watch you like not hit the brainstem when you shoot yourself in the face, and then you're just like living with like no face and trying to like bitch about the Jews with no lips.
That'd be what had happened. I'm not a lucky guy. Of course that'd be what had happened. But I'm tired of it. Get this fucking World War I to World War II. If we could just throw that down the memory hole and nobody ever thought about it again, we'd be so much better.
Yeah, I do agree.
Do you feel better now, Bryden?
No, I don't, because the Jews are still gonna push it.
Well, I think
it's gonna be more like, oh, Goyim, don't you feel so bad? And it's like, no, No, I don't. I feel bad that I didn't record Ride to Bryden last night.
Did you
But
get drunk and forget again?
What?
Well, I think you did bring up an important point, actually, which was it actually takes the Jewish intellectual class, the oligarchs, and it takes the base liberal Jew to come up with the confluence of factors which establishes the kind of control we see today. Like today, it takes the Zionists and it takes the liberal Jews to get the net effect they need. One or the other isn't enough, you know.
Yeah.
You need, on the one hand, people demanding Israel, and on the other, people demanding that, you know, anyone who says that your national intention, you know, your nationalistic intentions are not liberal, they're the evil guys. You need both. You need the confluence of factors.
Well, they're the sons of bitches that say that our nationalistic intentions are anti fucking Israel or anti-Jew or anything like that. And it's like, mine? Yeah, absolutely. But the average person, not so much. And that's what it pisses me off about. It's like, I'm just sick of all these fucking Jews, dude, trying to bully us around with all like, oh, man, you better just love Israel there, Goyim. You know, we are your greatest ally. And it's like, nah, dude, I have no allies out there. None of them are mine. None of them are my people. Like, dude, Ayla, Erica, how much of my heritage do you have? We have shared heritage in that we are white, but it's not nearly the fucking same.
Well, we're both Irish, so.
What are you doing in England? Get out of there. Ireland for the Irish.
Yeah.
We need base chica, Mick. No, it's I mean, but you know what I'm saying, like whatever. You know, I and it sounds terrible, but I say it all the time, even sober. I only give a flying fuck about white people. Yeah. And that's what Hotep Jesus was going on about too. Is like, I don't think about you. We need to stop thinking about you. They need to stop thinking about white people. That's what I thought was very interesting and intriguing about the Hoteps. They're not black nationalists as much as they are, you know, black, not even separatists, black. I don't want to call them reactionaries. They say, okay, look, we have to deal with this. We're stuck in a bad situation. We've got all these white people around. Don't even think about them. Do shit to help your community. And that would be great. And that may actually be something that we need to adopt instead of doing what we naturally do as Europeans, which is our mind says take over. We may need to retreat and say, let's deal with us. Let's deal with our community. How do we get involved? Yes, our shit with ID in Europa is going very well. That's awesome. How else can we reach out to our people? Because we are the minority and the Jews are in charge. So maybe we need to stop taking such an aggressive front to everything.
Maybe, I don't know, or maybe we need to get more aggressive. I don't know. I mean, you know, at this point, like how active I've gotten as far as activism has got, like actually like on the street activism, talking to people, like going out, putting up posters, talking to students, talking to people at rallies. I mean, you know how active I've gotten with it.
Yeah, and it's gotten you just called a racist and all this shit.
Yeah, but that's never going to change. I mean, what am I going to have to have?
But it needs to.
I know exactly, and that's why you need to keep talking about it. I mean, that's why I think anymore. The more you normalize it, the more people are going to listen to you, and the more they're going to be like, "Hey, maybe some of these ideas actually make sense." I mean, maybe they will think some of them are racist, but I mean, what does that even mean anymore?
Talk to Nate. We're still live. I forgot about that. It's fine. Talk to Nathan